guys, today is my meal prep day, so I thought I would bring you along with me through the process from planning out what I'm gonna have and making it fit my macros, to getting the food, to preparing the food and organizing it so that you can see the entire process that I go through to prepare a full week of healthy meals to keep myself on track and keep my body strong and healthy. I've been trying to meal prep as much as possible lately, A, because it makes it a lot easier to stay healthy and stay on track, and B, because it's so much cheaper. Like the area that I work in, if I wanted to buy lunch, it costs about $20 for a decent meal. Then I have to go home and buy dinner, and that just adds up real fast. In college, I did a lot of meal prepping, but mostly just for breakfast. I would make like a whole thing of oatmeal for the week, and then every day I would just take it to school with me, but I never really prepped full days worth of meals because in school, I was obligated to already pay for dinner, so I wasn't gonna make my own stuff and pay for both. So the biggest stumbling blocks that I've come across since starting to do like full days of meal prep for a full week is, one, I'm really slow at cooking. Like, I kind of suck at cooking and it just takes forever. And two, I get really sick of my dinners really fast. All the breakfasts that I've made are like super great and totally fine, and I can eat them probably for a year straight and not get bored of them. But like last week that I meal prepped, I made five dinners, all the same. I got 2 days into it, and on the third day, the idea of eating it just made me nauseous, which is ridiculous because the food was really good. Like, it tasted great, but just the thought of eating it, it was a bad time. So I ended up just having to go and buy other food, which sucked because A, I was wasting food, and B, I wasted all that time, and C, I had to spend the extra money even though I had already spent the money on the food. So I'm still kind of trying to work out how to make a week full of dinners and not get insanely sick of it after 2 days. So if you have any tips in the comments, please do let me know. But as far as prep time and like cooking time goes, what I've started to do is just make 2 very large meals, which makes it a lot easier for intermittent fasting, honestly, and it cuts down time. And so if I make my breakfast like half of my calories for the day, then I just have to make 1 more meal, maybe throw in a few snacks, and I'm good to go, rather than having to prep 3 separate meals, because that just adds a whole ton of extra time, so much extra chopping, and it's just not fun. So with that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and start trying to plan out my meals for the day using my favorite, MyFitnessPal. So I'm at my computer on the online MyFitnessPal. I just find that makes it a lot easier when you're planning out like large things to do it online rather than on your phone, but if you want to do it on your phone, it's totally okay. So every day during the week, I try to start out my day with a adaptogenic cacao latte, which is just my absolute favorite way to start the day, to be honest. If you haven't seen my video about adaptogens and adaptogenic mushrooms, I do highly recommend you go check it out. Put a lot of effort into it, so I'll link it up there and down in the description. But in short, adaptogens are naturally occurring substances, usually roots or mushrooms, that help protect your body from stress by stabilizing a bunch of different physiological functions. They help minimize fatigue and boost mental focus. They can help increase energy and physical endurance. They can boost your immune system, they can balance your mood, and they kind of just overall promote general wellness. My go-to adaptogens lately have been the FourSigmatic brand mushrooms, and they also recently came out with a bunch of new products that I really need to try. But in the meantime, I have their like standard set of stuff, and if you guys want to check it out, I do have a discount code. It's Fit and Nerdy for 15% off, so definitely go check that out if you are interested. I will link that in the description too, but in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and log my adaptogenic latte in MyFitnessPal. So since it's best to kind of cycle on and off different adaptogens, what I've been trying to do is have one specific adaptogen per week. So this week, I think I'm gonna go with lion's mane, which is one of my absolute favorites just because of its properties. The coolest thing about lion's mane is that in addition to all the properties that adaptogens have, it also can lead to neurogenesis. So it helps the brain function optimally by repairing certain damage done to axons and nerves, and it also can be used as a preventative treatment for neurodegenerative disorders like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or Huntington's, etc. So we're gonna go ahead and log this lion's mane latte. I like to log this under snacks just because it's easier for me to keep track. So I have been going with the Malk brand nut milk. I think I'm gonna go with cashew this week. Then also add cacao powder because chocolate is life. And then I add coconut oil to add some healthy fats and also to keep myself full for longer. So this ends up kind of being my breakfast. I have it when I break my fast, and then I don't end up eating my actual breakfast for quite a while after, because this just keeps me so full thanks to the fat in the cashew milk and the coconut oil. So we're at 131 calories. I don't really pay attention to calories until I get to my last meal. So we're gonna go ahead and get straight into breakfast. My go-to breakfasts are usually egg muffins, which are just like eggs baked in muffin tins with stuff in them, oatmeal, or a chia seed pudding. And it's been a while since I've done the chia seed pudding, so I think I'm gonna go with the chia seed pudding. So I'm gonna start off with 4 tablespoons of chia seeds and just see where this gets me in terms of calories, and if I have to tweak things, I might bring it down to 3 tablespoons. And just for variety's sake, I'm gonna go with almond milk for this one instead of cashew milk. What else do you need in chia seed pudding? I always put so many things in it. Okay, I go with I talked about it in my pantry haul video, the Spectrum Essentials chia seed and flax, coconut and cacao flavor. So it also has chia seeds in it, but like, whatever. That is gonna be my base. I might add more stuff to tweak my macros a little bit, but now for the toppings, because the toppings are key. So I'm gonna top it with some hemp seeds and some muesli. And then I'm gonna add some nuts to that, and I know I have slivered almonds in my pantry, so I'm gonna go ahead and add those. Now I need to add my servings of fruit, because fruit is great. So I'm going with half a cup each of raspberries and blueberries. And also, by the way, for those of you who don't know, on my Instagram, which is at Misfit and Nerdy, I've been doing a little Science Sunday segment where I talk about a scientific study and analyze it and like share my thoughts on it. And there was one that I did 2 or 3 weeks ago on dark berries and why they're really good for you, and what exactly in them is good for you, and what exactly it does to your body. So I got my dark berries in there because they're good for you. Okay, so that has brought our breakfast up to 766 calories with 77 grams of carbs, 43 grams of fat, and 31 grams of protein. Our current total is 900 calories. My daily goal is about 1850. If I go like 100 over that, I don't really care. I definitely don't want to go under 1850, but that's just like, all my numbers in here are my approximate goals. So my protein goal is 93 grams of protein, but I'm really aiming for anywhere between like 80 and 93. My fat goal is currently set at 93 grams of fat because I really love my fats and they make me feel really good, but if I don't hit it, like, it's not going to be the biggest deal because that's really high in terms of how much fat you would eat in a day. And so if I like go over my carbs and I'm under my fat, like, it's not really a big deal. When I'm planning out my meals like this, my goals are to hit roughly the right amount of calories, either my goal or slightly over, and then get in the range of protein that I want to hit, which honestly is probably anywhere from like 76-ish grams of protein to like 95. And if I go over 95, like, then I have a high protein week, that's okay. Then with my carbs and fat, I try to eat higher fat because that's what makes me feel really good. But if I don't hit my fat goal that is in my fitness pal, it's really not a big deal. So that being said, with dinner, I'm trying to add on another probably 800 calories because I also want to throw in some snacks in here. And there's also a place near my work that has the best matcha lattes I've ever had. Like, I don't like matcha by itself. I love it with cacao because chocolate, but they have the best matcha lattes, and I want to leave room for that in there too. And I also want to leave room for just a little snack, because if I don't get up to like go somewhere to buy a snack, I will sit in the office all day and not have a lunch break. So that's gonna be in there too. So with dinner, I think I'm gonna try to aim for 700 to 800 calories. So in an effort to make something that I think I'm gonna enjoy for 5 days in a row, I think I can go with some sort of Chipotle burrito bowl knockoff, because you can never go wrong with a Chipotle burrito bowl knockoff. So we're gonna start with a carby base, and usually I would do something like rice or quinoa, but I think I wanna change it up this week and go with a seasonal vegetable such as sweet potato. Because I love sweet potato, and it has been a long time since I have had sweet potato. So we're just gonna throw in 1 medium sweet potato. Okay, so that's our carb in the place of the rice that would usually be in the burrito bowl. Now we get the beans, then of course we have the chicken. And when I do chicken in my Fitness Pal, I do the raw measurement, because that's what I will like weigh out or measure beforehand, before cooking it. So we're gonna go with a raw chicken breast. Might as well go with 100 grams for now and adjust as necessary. So I need corn, guacamole, and lettuce. Okay, so that brings us up to 429 calories. I was being a little bit conservative with the black beans and corn, so I think that's gonna be the first thing I increase. This is where things get hard. I don't know what to put on top of it. I don't know what to add to this. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna add rice and see what happens, because I don't really have the time or the patience for this. So I'm going with brown rice. I bought some the other day. Then I always make my grains with some sort of a bone broth, and I have this powdery bone broth that is thick in the water to like bone brothify everything. So I'm gonna go with that. Okay, cool. So we're up to 658
calories. That's a pretty good sized dinner, so I think I'm gonna start adding in my snacks and just see what happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in that matcha latte that I know I'm gonna have every day that I'm really excited about. And they have like a bunch of different milks that they can use. I try to switch it up when I go, but for now I'm just gonna put in the macadamia milk just as an estimate of how much it's gonna be. And of course I gotta add the matcha powder. And that should be it for that because they said that they don't add any extra sweeteners or anything. So, oh, I forgot my sweetener. I always put a splash of maple syrup in my latte in the morning, so that has to go in. So far with my goals, I've hit 1,600 calories. I'm at 178 grams of carbs, 72 grams of fat, and 82 grams of protein. So I'm set on my protein. If I end up adding a little bit more, that's totally okay. Fat is also pretty good, and carbs are doing just fine. So right now, this is actually looking pretty good, and I'm actually pretty happy with this because that dinner looks so good, and I'm really excited for the breakfast, and all of my snacks are great. This is gonna be a great week. So I don't really know if I wanna add anything right now because I could just make sure that the snack I get is gonna be roughly 300 calories and I'd be totally fine. My go-to is to add some nuts as a snack, but I had a ton of nuts last week. One of my other go-to snacks is RX bars. Ooh, something that would be really good. You know what? I'm just gonna add this to my dinner because I think this would taste really, I hope it tastes really good. I don't know if it will, but I'm gonna add pumpkin seeds to add like a little bit of crunch. Okay, so we're good. We're at 1,630 calories plus a 200 to 300 calorie snack that I will buy day of. We have 180 grams of carbs, 73 grams of fat, and 83 grams of protein plus whatever snack I get day of. Also, for anyone wondering, I am indeed wearing overalls. They're super comfy. I got them from H&M, I believe. But yeah, they're great. I love them.
Oh, hello there. This is future Marissa, who is currently editing this video. You probably weren't expecting to see me, and frankly, I wasn't expecting to see you either, as evidenced by the ginormous pile of clothes that is behind me and the disaster that is my room. But we're just gonna ignore that. I was working on this video, and it is about 25 minutes long, which is a little bit too long. So I am splitting it up into part 1 and part 2, and this is now the end of part 1. Part 2 will be my process of going about preparing all of the food in a way that prevents me from getting super stressed out about everything being perfect, and just making sure that I stay sane throughout this entire process of preparing food to keep myself fit and healthy. It is currently Wednesday of the week of the food that I prep in this video, and I can tell you that so far I have not gotten tired of my dinner, evidenced by the fact that this is my dinner. Yes, there's one sweet potato left over, but I think my snack today was a lot more than 300 calories because it was the matcha latte plus a really good gluten-free vegan donut. Like, oh my god, it was so good. So the only spoiler that I will give you is that this wasn't a total disaster. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed part 1, seeing me go through the process that I go through in order to put together a meal prep plan. One of the biggest things that I find helps me is not being super strict about my macros and just making sure I'm hitting in a range where I know I'm gonna feel my best. When I've tried to be more strict about the macros, it's gotten very overwhelming and stressful, and it's just not worth it in the long run to go through that every single week. So I find that this works much better for me and my lifestyle and just how I am as a person. If you guys have any thoughts on this or meal prep tips or questions about meal prepping, please leave them down in the comments below. Please like this video if you liked it because it supports me and my channel. Please share it with all your meal prep buddies and subscribe to see part 2 of this video, which will be coming out as soon as possible, and I will see ya very soon. Bye.